Hey guys, happy Tuesday once again. I hope everybody is still doing great. So, I thought I would give you some examples of the things I'm talking about when it comes to mindset and all of that. So, have you guys noticed that some women will have partners that will lavish them with gifts, that will always pay for everything, that will, take care of them, that will give them money for rent, that will pay for every date, that will buy them things. And then there are women who will have partners with whom they will go 50-50 on everything. So everything, they will always pay their part, whether it's going to the movies or dinner or buying stuff for if they live together, sharing the rent money, food, everything, groceries. They will go 50-50. And then there are women who will actually support their men, so they will be the bread bringer, breadwinner. I'm not sure what the correct term is, but you know what I mean. They will be the ones that put the food on the table, that take care of everything, and they will just financially support the men. Have you ever wondered why this is the case and what is the difference between these women? Okay, and then you know how you have girls that, for example, I don't know, have a characteristic that is not maybe socially, um, depending on a culture, that is not maybe something that would be considered the norm or the beauty standard. Okay, so for example, if somebody is really overweight, and a really overweight girl, and then you will have um, different stories there as well. There will be a really overweight girl that will simply be gorgeous. Even though she's really overweight, she will just take care of herself, dress nicely, do her makeup beautifully, and she will be popular, and she will have any man she wants, and she will have so many fans, and everybody will love her. And then you have that girl that is just, that looks the same basically, and she's just like an average normal girl. She doesn't put in a lot of effort into her looks, and she is not noticed very much. And then there is the girl that is depressed, that is always alone, that thinks that because of her weight she just can't get a partner, and she doesn't have a partner, and she's lonely and sad, and basically in victim mentality. So, have you ever thought how people get to have such different experiences? Think about it. So, the answer is the mindset, of course. What else? That internal stuff is what is basically creating everything in a way. So, for the first part, those women, it's going to depend on how they see, what do they believe they deserve, what do they believe about money, about men, about relationships. Do they feel like they deserve to be, you know if they deserve to be treated a certain way or not? And all of that will come from very deep things, like the stuff that happened when they were kids, how their parents handled money, and all the programming they got through society and media and all of that. And this is why people can have completely different experiences. And a girl that is supporting her man that is unemployed may ask herself, how is this girl getting all of these gifts and all of these amazing men, and she is no better than me, she is not prettier than me, and she just has it all, and I have to support this man? And the answer is, well, her mindset, her energy is different than yours, and that is it. It's very simple yet very complex. Or with the overweight girls, right? The one that is clearly being popular is having a different mindset about her appearance and about what is socially acceptable or what is a beauty standard than the other two invisible ones, right? So it's just gonna depend on the inside, because you will notice that people that are no smarter than you, that are not prettier than you, that are not better than you in any way, shape, or form, are having completely different experiences than you are. And you will wonder why. That we have the same education, you may say. We have the same background. We come from the same culture, same religion, or whatever it is, right? We have the same bodies. It doesn't really matter, but they are having such a great time and I'm not. Why is that? It's because of the mindset, okay? So, also, you will notice that people will, based on their mindset and their vibrational state, they will react to things that happen to them in a different way. So I was just watching the other day, and it was again one of those little shorts somewhere on YouTube, I think. And basically, they were interviewing this billionaire woman, a middle-aged billionaire woman, and they asked her if she came from rich parents, from rich background, and she said that she hasn't. That actually, before she made her first million, one of her family members passed away and she was left with 3 million debt, and basically she was left in poverty. And majority of the people in that kind of situation would go deep into victim mentality, and would just fall down even more, but she hasn't. So you will notice the difference between people, and you will definitely notice when somebody is really in victim mentality, because those will be the people that will just stay at the same level they were. They will not make any changes. They will not try to get out of anything. They will just kind of feel comfortable in that victim mentality. And they will always complain about everything, and everything will always be very negative to them. So be careful and mindful that you are not surrounded, if you don't absolutely need to be, with those type of people, because they can really bring you down. Because remember, we can be easily influenced. We have our free will, but it does get influenced quite a lot if you think about it. So, for example, if you are telling them about some cool new idea you have, and they're going to tell you, oh, that's never going to work because there's no way that can work. And that will influence you, that will bring you down, and maybe you will give up on your cool new idea. You never know. So be very careful and mindful around them. And you're going to notice them really easily, because everything is always going to be negative for them, and they will always see the negative in everything, and they will never try to do anything for themselves. They will only tell you, oh, that's crap, that can't work, nope, nothing can work. And they will just be extremely negative about everything. So, and there are people that have experienced the same stuff as they have, because we all have experienced bad things, and some people worse than others, but they did not allow themselves to become victims of those events. Instead, what they did was they used the pain that they have suffered, and they have basically grown from that pain, which is something that is the point. So they did it the right way. Like Phoenix, they just rise from the ashes and they shine. And those are the people that you should surround yourself with. Those are the people that you should listen to. Those are the people that you should allow to influence you, to influence your mind. That kind of people. And there are people like that everywhere. They do exist, and they are kind of the example that you can do it as well, that everything can happen, everything can change, that extraordinary things can happen, that people are amazing, and that there are so many good people. All of that you can learn from others. Just be careful and mindful who you're going to allow to be your teacher. Okay, are you going to allow for, I don't know, John that has been living in his mother's basement for 25 years and claiming that he can't find a job, that nobody wants him, that everything is just terrible, influence you? Or are you gonna allow that billionaire woman to influence you, who had worse things happen to her than John has, but she just dealt with them differently because she has a different mindset and she is working on herself? Think about that really, really well. So, guys, I am aware that a lot of you will be skeptical about magic, and I fully understand. I'm a skeptical person myself, believe it or not. This is why a lot of my magic is science based, because I am quite skeptical. Well, not anymore, but I used to be, and still are about a lot of things. So I fully understand that. But just look at the examples of the ones that had it happen. And remember, for everything, there was once a person that was the first person that achieved something. So, you know how I always tell you, find examples of the people who have done the thing you want to do, because there's a bunch of them. But remember that also once nobody has done something and there was one person that was the first person to do it. So that person could not find those examples, but they knew it was possible and they were consistent and they managed. Okay? So I think that should really inspire you. And remember, everything is possible and you're so powerful. Also, one thing I want you to remember is that power versus force. So, force never works. Force never works. Forcing something will never work. Those of you who are trying to force somebody to do something, who are trying forcefully, when your energy is forceful, I don't mean your actions, your energy when it's very forceful. And your energy will be forceful when you are very anxious, when you are attached, anxiously attached, when you are very needy and you need that person and you're just waiting for that person and you're trying to somehow, with your words or your texts or your double texting or sending long paragraphs, you're kind of trying to force somebody to do something. It will never work. But you are very powerful. You just need to unlock that power. You just need to awake yourself. You just need to expand your consciousness. You're very, very powerful, but force never ever works. So forget all of that. Also, I have been talking to some of you guys about influencers that teach manifestation. And, people have been asking me about it. Why hasn't it worked? Why this? Why that? So remember, please, guys, remember, affirming for another person doesn't do anything. You can affirm all you want, nothing is gonna change because affirmations are great if you're trying to change your own mindset. They can work on you, yeah, they can, because they are basically you're repeating something and through repetition your brain learns and gets programmed, so they can be great. But if you're affirming for another person in hopes that this other person somehow hears it just like you hear when you affirm, that is not going to happen. That is not how it works. That is not possible. The only thing you're going to do is, since you're going to be repeating it and your brain is going to listening it over and over again, you're going to make yourself obsessed. And when you make yourself even more obsessed, and you probably are to begin with if you're trying the affirmation method, what's going to happen is that you're going to create more of that forceful energy, more of that needy energy, more of that type of energy that people run away from. That's just not attractive. So be very mindful who you listen to, who you allow to be your teacher. And I'm not just talking about online people, I'm talking about who are you surrounding yourself with, who are you listening to, are you having toxic friends, toxic parents, toxic family members, toxic co-workers. Be very mindful, be very careful. It does all influence you because we are easily influenced. We do have free will, but it is easily influenced, which is the basis of magic. So, guys, I hope this was helpful. I apologize that I was jumping from topic to topic, but as you know, I kind of freestyle these audios. And I hope this was helpful.